9 and 10 Late News, the most complete report of the day's events from Northern Michigan's news leader.
A former Ludington resident is coming to the rescue of the town's dead-in-the-water ferry. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for staying up with us. I'm Kathy King. Today, it was announced that industrialist Charles Conrad of Holland is purchasing the financially troubled car ferry. Service is set to resume next spring, but as our Michelle Coram explains, there will be some changes.
The last car ferry out of Ludington was last November, a gray, depressing day for many. But today, 8 months later, things look brighter as it was announced that the car ferry link to Wisconsin will be revived, but not until next May. Charles Conrad, a Ludington native, has formed a corporation which has purchased the car ferries and assets from former owner Glenn Bowden. The Badger will operate May 1st through September 15th and will carry only passengers and cars, no rail freight. And that's good enough news for town businesses.
That's plenty, and we're more than happy to have that. Gee whiz, if we can get any business at all out of that car ferry, it'd be just great.
Passengers have missed the ferry, too, some in the worst way.
There was a lady who came in last week from Pennsylvania hoping to cross the lake, and she found out there wasn't any ferry, therefore she had to drive around Chicago, putting herself 500 miles out of the way.
The site for the Wisconsin port has not been decided. It will likely be Kewanee or Manitowoc, depending on negotiations. The future of the ferry service itself is also uncertain.
They'll be making adjustments and plans and their changes in their business plan as they go through the experience of operation.
Though there still may be some trepidation about starting up the service again, everybody seems willing. In Ludington, I'm Michelle Coram, TV 9 and 10, the news leader.
The car ferry operation is currently under Chapter 11 protection of bankruptcy laws. The ongoing dispute over the Mammoth Grand Traverse Mall is taking a small step forward tonight. Township officials are gathering to lay the legal groundwork for some crucial hearings. Those court-ordered hearings will be held to determine whether the multi-million-dollar project poses a threat to the environment. A lawsuit in the matter has been hanging in the balance for a year. Under a judge's ruling, those environmental hearings must be held within the next 3 weeks. Environmentalists are worried that runoff from the project may pollute a nearby stream. A Traverse City man who publicly burned a flag on July 4th pleaded guilty today to littering. 21-year-old Scott Myers was sentenced today to 45 days probation. He will also be required to perform 30 days of community service beginning tomorrow. District Court Judge Richard Benedict says Myers' community service will include helping in the cleanup of Cherry Festival trash. But despite his sentence, Myers says he would do it again. A local police dragnet results in several drug arrests in Cadillac. We'll have a full report coming up. And an in-depth report prompted by the Rodney King beating is out. The Los Angeles police chief is on the defensive. Stay with us.
You got the right one, baby.
You got the right one, baby.
You got the right one, baby.
You got the right thing.
You got the right one.
Everybody.
Oh, time, Pepsi. Baby, you got the right one.
There's only one right one, baby. You got the right one, baby.
With 100% NutraSweet.
Get together with Spartan Stores and eat right for less. This week only, breakfast is better with the 100% whole grain goodness of Big G, Cheerios, or Wheaties, now $2.49. Make a healthy choice with low fat, low sodium, and low cholesterol Healthy Choice frozen dinners. Assorted varieties are just $1.99 each. You sweet talker, Betty Crocker. This week only, Betty Crocker Fudge Brownie Mix is just 89 cents. Call toll-free for the Spartan Store nearest you.
I need a summer vacation, but work follows me everywhere I go. It's the Christmas in July sale at High Point in Cadillac. You say you don't believe in Santa Claus? How about a 91 Delta 88 from $14,995, or a 91 Cadillac DeVille from $22,995, or Pontiac Grand Ams from $99.95. All cars and trucks, new and used, are specially priced. If you're searching for the holiday spirit without a lot of ho, 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 this is it. The Christmas in July sale at High Point in Cadillac.
As of this morning, I have 7 purses, 3 watches, 18 pairs of shoes, Only one pearl necklace. 12 rings, 29 bracelets, and 36 pairs of earrings. Minus the one my little brother borrowed. And I'm supposed to make a single pair of glasses work with it all?
New Vision has hundreds of fashion frames. Right now, every frame is up to 70% off when you buy prescription lenses.
I'm a clever girl, but I'm not a miracle worker.
A major drug bust in Cadillac has resulted in the arrest of 15 people. Members of the Osceola-Wexford Narcotics Investigation Team began rounding up suspects early today, including one across the street from Cadillac High School. TV 9 and 10's Court Musoff reports.
Members of the Osceola-Wexford Narcotics Investigation Team were scratching on the doors of suspected drug dealers at the crack of dawn. After a 6-month investigation, 27 officers from 4 different departments launched what police are calling one of the area's biggest drug busts in years.
We anticipate hitting them all hard, and regardless, it might take us months, but we'll get them.
The drug enforcement team Own It targeted 20 suspected drug dealers and users in and around the city of Cadillac. A total of 15 successful arrests were made, including this one at Papa J's Pizza and Subs, putting the owner, 24-year-old Douglas Casper, behind bars for alleged cocaine trafficking.
Any comment?
Bogus bust, man.
Police expect to have the rest of the suspects in custody within the next few days. And although each arrest is significant, police say the one right here at Papa J's is perhaps the biggest and most important of them all.
The main thing that's concerned us was the fact of its location being right next to the Cadillac High School. We're certainly concerned about everybody in the community, but when someone sets up an operation like that right next to our high school and has a potential of dealing to our young people, we take a great concern in that.
Members of the narcotics team are pleased with the initial success of the bust, but they admit the battle must continue for Cadillac to once again become a safe place from the dangers of drugs. In Cadillac, I'm Court Musoff for TV 9 and 10, the news leader.
The individuals arrested are set to appear in Wexford County District Court next week. Meanwhile, on the night beat tonight, the Wexford County Drug Enforcement Task Force has made yet another bust this evening in connection with today's drug net. And it doesn't stop there. Even now, police are following up on leads, tracking down other suspected drug criminals. Well, Daryl Gates should step down as chief of the Los Angeles Police Department, a force that risk a siege mentality with instances of brutality aggravated by racism. That was just one of the observations made in the Christopher Report, which was released today. The 228-page report was compiled by an independent commission.
The commission has found that the problem of excessive force is aggravated by racism and bias in the department. The commission's review of patrol car transmissions revealed many, I'm sad to say far too many, disturbing racial remarks and ethnic slurs.
Now, one of the specific recommendations of the commission was to limit the police chief to 2 5-year terms in office. The report says it's time for a change in leadership within the LAPD.
My feeling is, as it has always been, that one day I do want to retire. There's no question about that. 13 years of being battered, pushed, and otherwise tormented is a long, long time.
The report and the controversy surrounding it were all started when this now famous videotape became public. It shows a group of Los Angeles cops clubbing and beating 28-year-old Rodney King, a black man who was pulled over for a traffic citation. It appears the Bush administration may be ending a 5-year embargo against South Africa. For the sanctions to be lifted, South Africa must take 5 specific steps away from apartheid. Those steps include the repeal of a Race Classification Act and the release of political prisoners like Nelson Mandela. The State Department says that latter step has now been taken, and President Bush says there's no debating it. By law, he will have to end the embargo.
They made great progress there, great progress.
The sanctions were imposed in 1986 over the protests of the Reagan administration. It marked the only time Congress overrode a foreign policy veto during the Reagan years. Well, Supreme Court nominee Judge Clarence Thomas says he's benefited greatly from the civil rights movement. His comments came as he spent a second day on Capitol Hill in private meetings with Senate leaders. Thomas went on to say that the work of liberal Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall was good for America. The nominee's comments are seen as an effort to dispute claims that he has turned his back on fellow blacks by opposing affirmative action. The Crawford Ensemble School Board is back at full strength today. Louis Maddle Frederick was appointed to the board last night, filling a vacancy created by the resignation of Mark Hartman. Maddle was one of 11 people who applied for the opening. He must run for the election next June during the annual school elections. Well, a parade celebrating Traverse City's history practically made history itself tonight. What's being described as one of the biggest crowds ever lined up the streets of downtown Traverse City tonight for the Cherry Festival's annual Heritage Parade. Police estimate at least 40,000 turned out to watch and wave and take in the sights. This is one parade.
I'm excited about the parade because the bands and the open space, it's really fun. It's really great. Traverse City is really exciting at Cherry Festival. We've come here year after year. We've been in the parades. Now we're sharing them with our children.
A lot of the fun in coming down here is just the people watching. And of course the variety of the entries and whatnot is real enjoyable.
It's really fun to see, whether it's the same or not. It's really fun to see.
Now, parade goers also got a glimpse of the TV 9 and 10 fire truck. On board were our morning crew of Mike Wozniak, Deanna Finney, and our weekender, John McGowan. And of course, the two of us will be participating in a parade later this week.
The two of us, you got
Larry and Greg.
And my son, of course, will be there. And weather permitting, I'll tell you right now, it looks like there will be a chance for thunderstorms, but we're going to do our best to keep them out of the area.
You better do your best.
I'm going to do, you better believe me. I remember last year. Remember Friends last year? You don't remember that.
No.
Anyway, we do have a nice day tomorrow. We'll tell you more about it after this.
Oh my God.
Think about your daydreams and what you would do if you won 10 million out of the blue. Imagine the bell rings, the winner is you. Publishers Clearinghouse, the house where dreams come true.
Van Dre's, Northern Michigan's top name in home furnishings, attracts America's top brand names. Now during the top brand sale, select an Amana 18 cubic foot refrigerator freezer, just $6.99. Buy a dependable Maytag laundry pair and receive a 10-year warranty bonus. Choose a tap and 30-inch gas range, only $2.99, or a GE heavy-duty washer and dryer, just $5.98 for the pair. Buy GE appliances and receive 90 days, same as cash, no payments required, full service and free delivery during the top brand circular sale at all 3 Van Dre stores.
Bill Spencer's Weathercast has received the seal of approval from the American Meteorological Society. Tonight's weather is brought to you by your Quality North Chevy leaders.
Well, good evening, everybody. Let's be honest. During the commercial, we were talking about that tricky 5-day forecast coming up in about 20 minutes. I've got to be honest with you. We keep changing it simply because weather patterns